Okay, so hello. I want to give you some insight or hopefully some tips and tools or just mainly insight on my journey at Grand Canyon University and their Doctor of Education and Organizational Leadership program. And mine was with an emphasis in special education. So when I was going through that process, I saw videos mainly about how people quit or why it wasn't fair. So I'm going to give you a video on how I didn't quit, how I made it through. Now, even though I just made it through yesterday, which was June 23rd, 2023, I feel like I need to tell you why it's fresh on my mind. And I might look down here and there because I'm looking at some notes because I want to be able to give y'all as much information as I can. So I started my program May 2019. I defended my dissertation on May 1st, 2023. I thought that was the end of it because when my counselor told me to apply for graduation, the requirements for graduation was only a successful defense. And I thought, like, okay, I'm going to get the invitation to graduate. No, there are steps after that. So before we get to that, let me just tell you about the things, okay? So I finished with a 3.6 GPA. It was 23 courses. I went through 3 dissertation continuation courses. Some people go through more, but I only had to do 3. I also want to say that I finished my milestones way ahead of time before I had to pass them, okay? My 23 courses also include research continuation courses. That's what I did 3 of. So your dissertation courses are roughly 11 to 12 weeks, and your continuation courses are roughly 14 to 15 weeks. You will eventually, when you get into the course with your chair, it's going to be this document that you have to complete called an ISP. At the top of the ISP, it tells you the different milestones that you have to pass in each course. So look at what course you in, and make sure you know what the milestone is that you have to pass in order to pass that course. Because some courses are not pass and fail. Some of them are, like in some courses it might say you have to get your proposal approved or AQR approved by this course. So make sure you pay attention to that so you can make sure you stay in line. So the biggest tip I want to tell you is first pray, okay? Lean on God for your understanding and ask him to shine through you, okay? Number 2, don't let anyone tell you what you cannot do. Don't let them tell you that. I don't care if they are a graduate of Grand Canyon. I don't care if they're in Grand Canyon, because what worked for them might not work for you, and whatever obstacles they had may not be the obstacles that you had. So don't let anybody deter you from your goals, okay? Because when I first got with my chair, I asked him, "Do you think it's possible I could finish in 3 years?" He was like, "Nah." I did though. According to the university, I just finished yesterday. But in my mind, because that graduation thing said the successful defense, my successful defense was May 1st, and May 1st, 2023. And I started the program May 9th, 2019. That's 3 years to me, okay? So look, in my 8 days, it would have been 4 years. So to me, I'm claiming that it took me 3 years to finish. So I want to give you some little insight, tips, and tools. Join a Facebook group, okay? The Facebook group you can find, because Grand Canyon likes for you to have, when you get into your dissertation phase and you start doing if you're doing a qualitative descriptive study, I don't know for quantitative, I don't know what they'll have you do, but for qualitative studies, you have, and if you're doing interviews, you're going to have to get your instrument, your data collection instrument, you're going to have to get it approved, expert panel approved. Expert panel approved is going to be 3 doctors. You have to get 3 doctors to look at your stuff, give you feedback, say if they approve it or not. Those groups like that help you, because the group is full of doctors and people trying to become doctors. Lean on them. Sometimes when you're looking for participants, lean on those groups, because they can either become one of your participants or lead you in a direction to find a participant. So join a Facebook group, okay? A Grand Canyon Facebook group. What else did I want to tell you all? I had the same chair throughout the process. I had the same methodologist. I had the same content expert. My content expert I knew personally. Grand Canyon will give you resources through them to get a content expert, but I knew mine personally, okay? And if you know one personally, it had to be a doctor. If you know one personally, Grand Canyon will pay them for their services, okay? I'm just looking at my notes. I did not pay for an editor. I didn't pay anybody to do anything for me. I did it all on my own. Use the library, okay? Grand Canyon, if you scroll a little down, go to the library, click on D for dissertation. You got Grand Canyon. You can look at everybody's dissertation or only Grand Canyon dissertations. Choose Grand Canyon, okay? Whatever study that you're doing or whatever kind of study that you're doing, look for those kind of dissertations. Look for qualitative, descriptive, or qualitative, just qualitative. And look for it in the topic. Mine was special education, so I look for special education topics. And the most recent ones they had, I use those as templates to see, okay, how did they write this section? What did they put here? What did they put there? What did their code book look like? I use those as my guide, because if it got them to pass, I'm sure it should get me to pass too. So use that as your guide. What else I want to tell you? I want to say, play the game, okay? It's academic hazing. Nobody opinion is going to matter except your chair. Well, AQR people kind of have more to say than your chair. In Grand Canyon, anyway, I don't know about other schools, but at Grand Canyon specifically, the AQR people will say yes or no. But your chair's opinion would matter. Do what you got to do in that course. If one of the professors say write this way, write that way that professor says, so you can pass through the course. What you need to do is approvals, okay? You trying to get to the ultimate goal, which is getting your chair and getting approvals. Just do what their professor says, so you can get through the course. My last professor I had before I got my dissertation chair had a lot of opinions. She said my writing was horrible. My topic wasn't going to get passed through because it wasn't going to further the literature. That's because I was talking about my study focused on Black students. And she was like, it's not going to be helpful because you're not talking about all students. So for her, I did what I needed to do for her. But when I stood for her, I really wanted to, because I am the teacher in the classroom. I see the need. I'm reading the literature. I see the need for my study to do the research. So I did. I did what she needed me to do so I could pass her course. In residency, I did what them people said do so I could pass the course. Now, sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. Don't just let them people tell you anything because you feel like they are the professional. Although they are the professional, stuff that you have researched and you have researched to help you stand on what you're talking about, use that. My AQR reviewer for level 2 wanted me to say you need to collect more demographic information. I found research where it said people only collected a small amount, and it was a published dissertation or a published study. So if you can find things, reasonings as to why you're doing what you're doing. You always have to say why you're doing what you're doing because somebody else got it published and it's possible to do. Grand Canyon makes you have. They want you, like for my study, they want me to have like 25 participants. I made sure I put in my dissertation that you can reach saturation with 5 participants. I found studies, qualitative descriptive studies, where saturation was met with 5 participants. I put that in there, so I didn't have 25. I ended up having 19. I was able to back it up. Okay, you have to back up what you're saying. Again, I want to reiterate: don't let nobody deter you from what you're trying to do. Somebody told me I was gonna have to make sure you save your money because you're gonna have to do all these continuation courses. That was not my ministry. I didn't have to do that because I stayed focused. My mom is like my mom and my dad, but my mom always says, "Them people not you. What they had to do, you not gonna have to do." And a lot of times I got lazy. Oh, my mom want to get an editor. Like I don't want to read this. She said, no, you going to do it because you can do it. And so after I got out my feelings, like, I did what I needed to do. So I'm going to give y'all a timeline. I'm going to roll down the best way I could. A timeline of my journey, okay, after I got my chair. So my prospectus was approved October 23rd, 2021. Your prospectus is going to be the thing you're working on in residency, okay? In residency 1, you're going to work on your prospectus. It's going to be a PowerPoint. In residency 2, you're going to be working on that, okay? Make sure you fine-tune that so when you first get your chair and you can turn it in, it should be some quick turnarounds, okay? My proposal was approved March 5th, 2022. That means the whole committee approved chapters 1 through 3. It was submitted to AQR. Everything is a 10-day turnaround. Everybody has 10 days to review your things. But when you get to like the academic quality reviewers, AQR, sometimes it might take a little longer, and I don't know. I just can't give you no reason, no logical reason like how it's fair or not fair or not. But just know they're supposed to have 10 days. It was submitted like around April. It took a little longer. I had to do a revision. I had to do one revision. It wasn't approved the first time, but it was approved June 16, 2022. I had my defense June 28, 2022. I passed. Submitted to IRB. IRB was approved July 8, 2022. I think it had to be submitted more than once. Like I was having some difficulties, but it was approved July 8, 2022. I took a break to collect data because, like I said, in certain classes you have to hit milestones. I might have been in a class where a milestone was due. I think up until that point I was kind of ahead of the game, so I didn't need to. I was like a year ahead of the game. I think my last course that I was in, it had to be AQR Approved Level 2, and I had did that already. So I was good to have anything approved. But make sure, like I said, look at your ISP, see what needs to be approved. So I took a break because I was collecting data. I didn't want to be in a class and something possibly, further myself along, and I wasn't done collecting data. In my mind, my goal was I didn't want to enroll back in school until I had chapter 4 and chapter 5 written. That wasn't the case. I finished collecting data like mid-September. I finished all my transcripts like October, like in the middle of October. And I kept getting these emails about, you've been unenrolled too long, so I enrolled back in school November 10, 2022. So I took a break from 7/13/22 to 11/10/2022. I had not written chapter 4 and 5. I had all this data. I didn't know what it meant. Also, my mom was diagnosed with cancer in October, so I was just really, really struggling. Luckily, in Texas, we had a snowstorm in January. Was it January or February? I think it might have been January. It's like a week, maybe 4 or 5 days, and I had to go to work. And I just prayed hard, God, please let me finish this dissertation. Like, help me. I just wanted to get chapter 4 done, but I still had the spirit was still flowing, and I was able to write chapter 5 too. So I finished writing chapter 4 and 5 in like a matter of 5 days. I wrote like 60 pages in 5 days because that was Holy Spirit activated, baby. So my dissertation committee approved the dissertation because everything is some rounds. I go to your chair first, then your chair say, okay, it's good. Then your methodologist got to look at it. Then your content expert got to look at it. It's going to be a little ping-ponging back and forth. But, just most times it's easier just to do what the person requests for you to do. I wouldn't even fight it. If it's like pick your battles wisely. I wouldn't even fight it that hard so you can get through, because the goal is to do what? Get through. So the dissertation committee approved March 23rd, 2023. Then it went to AQR reviewer was assigned March 31st, 2023. AQR Level 5 was complete April 11, 2023. Had my defense May 1st, and I passed. Then they went to format. It was denied automatically because I didn't have my recruitment instrument. I had it in there, but it wasn't the IRB approved one. So when you go through your IRB process, save all those documents, because you're going to have to include that in the appendix section of your dissertation, okay? So So it was, they didn't even look at it because it didn't have an IRB approved watermark stamp on the document. So make sure you put that in there, okay? Then it was resubmitted. Then, like I said, they looked at it. Then it was denied. Had a few changes. It wasn't major change. It was like bolding something certain where, like, you keep, like when you put your definitions in the beginning of the dissertation, do not italicize those words. Just bold them. Some had, it was stuff like that. Like when you're doing ETAL in a citation, if it's not in parentheses, if it's an in-text, do not put a period and a comma. Just only put a period, okay? Because I had to go through and do all those corrections. So form and format was approved 6/5/2023. I thought that was it. No, you got to get the dean's signature. That was obtained 6/15/2023. And I really thought after the dean's signature it was done. No, we still wasn't done. I got an email talking about soon to be doctor, because I thought I was the doctor I was supposed to be already when the dean signed the thing on the 15th, but it still wasn't it. Got an email talking about doing my ProQuest submission. That was a task because for some reason my computer was translating the website in Spanish. I said such a hard time. I finally figured it out, submitted it. Then I got an email yesterday saying congratulations, Dr. Me. So finally the university approved me. Okay, so that was a timeline of my journey. I hope I'm not all over the place. I hope you can follow me. So some of the fees that you should keep in mind. ProQuest is going to charge you $75 to copyright your dissertation. If you want the hard book of it, the hard copy with shipping and handling, it was $80.12. I said the application is $150. If you're going to use the transcription services that Microsoft Word provides, that's $9 a month. If you stay focused, stay on task, and go through those transcripts, if you have to do transcripts, you have to do interviews, do it at a steady pace, because you just have to do $9 a month if you just get it all completed at that time. ReciteWorks, they're going to make you use ReciteWorks. Matter of fact, AQR and form and format are going to go through ReciteWorks. Okay, the dissertation is going to be so large, so you're not going to be able to use the free option. You're going to have to pay the $8. Okay, if you don't be lazy. I be seeing people saying on Facebook groups, "Who did y'all pay to go through your references?" Y'all just, it really not hard. Use Control F, find the reference, change the reference. If you can't find that reference, if you can't find your citation in your reference section, then you need to find a new citation or something. Like, don't be lazy, okay? Do the work. Go line by line. If you work on it for a month, if you work on it once a day or every weekend, go through all your citations, then you just only have to pay the $8 that one time. If you want a monthly subscription, it's $6 a month, and a yearly subscription is $60 a month. What else did I want to tell y'all? Looking at my notes. If you have to have codes, you need to have about 67 codes. Okay, Dr. Zayas was my level 2 AQR reviewer. He was supposed to be my level 5 AQR reviewer, but he wasn't. They changed it. But he writes the curriculum for Grand Canyon on qualitative studies. Okay, so he's very, very strict about what he's looking for. I watched one of his videos. He's looking for 60 to 70 codes, and he's looking for your codes to be done inductively. Okay. He said you can do it another way, but he's going to want to know how and why did you do that. So make sure you have the research to stand on what you're talking about. So all in all, what I want you to get from this video is pray, right? Don't let nobody tell you what you can and cannot do. Stay focused. Do not make excuses, because it's easy to fall in excuses. Okay, I had somebody at work was telling me why they've been doing a dissertation for 10 years because of this and because of that. I feel like it's either it's not a matter of you want to do it or you don't. It is a matter, to me, it is a matter if you want to do it or you don't. Sometimes you have to make temporary sacrifices for lifelong accomplishment. Okay, can't nobody, once you get it, nobody can take the title of doctor away from you. So how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Do what you need to do, and continue to lean on God. Have a strong. I hope you have a strong support system. If you don't, then I don't know. Send me a comment or something. I'll try to support you the best way that I can. But get into those. Like I said, if you're not a big proponent of social media, you might want to be, because those people are very resourceful. I got my whole entire expert panel from the Facebook group. Some people put their survey monkeys in there, and they get them filled out. They meet their saturation that way. So the group I was in was doctors in the making. They spell doctors with a Z at the end. And people are, they very encouraging, and they're very resourceful. Yeah, I really just think that's all I had to tell y'all, is to be encouraged. I wanted somebody to tell me, okay, like, what's after this step? What's after this step? What after that step? And I want to be the person to tell you these are the steps. Okay? So have a good day.